want to talk a little bit about the Lakers and how the Nuggets absolutely destroyed them. The score of that game on Saturday was 127 to 102 in a Lakers loss. And it was even more than that before the reserves came in. It was the Lakers' first home loss on the season. And I'm going to kind of break this down from both teams' perspectives. So I want to start with the Nuggets and some of my key takeaways. The Nuggets defense has looked, in my opinion, a lot better with Christian Brown starting instead of KCP. They're currently sitting at top 12 in defensive rating this season. And I just think Christian Brown he's a better athlete. He's bigger. He's stronger than KCP. And he just offers a lot more versatility, especially when Aaron Gordon's out there. He's been hurt for a little bit, but he just offers more versatility in their defensive lineups. He's able to guard up and down, which is something that KCP kind of struggled with. Like a guy like Christian Brown can go from guarding Anthony Edwards to you can try putting him on, say, like LeBron for a play. You can just move him around a lot more. Whereas like KCP, he was struggling with Ant, and you definitely can't try like getting him in a switch on Brown, like stuff like that. You just won't see that happening. And I think they've also made additions kind of by subtraction, losing a couple guys, like bringing in Russ and then having like Peyton Watson get more playing time. And like I mentioned, Christian Brown, it just makes their team, their profile, like their athletic profile bigger. Like they have a lot more bigger, stronger, faster athletes out there. And I think that works really well with Jokic, who's not the best athlete, and having guys who can run the break and he can throw kick ahead passes or who can help him out on defense, make rotations. It's just that's how the Nuggets have been winning games. And I want to give Christian Brown a quick shout out because he's averaging 16 this season. He's definitely stepped into the moment, and he's outplayed KCP this season. How he's been playing on the Magic. Brown's shooting 46.3% from three, also as an aside, but that is on only 3 attempts per game. So in a higher volume, that'll likely come down. But he's been doing his job in that starting role, and also like how the Nuggets have been winning. Jokic has just been playing out of his mind. His averages are insane. He's averaging a career high in points, rebounds, assists, and 3-point percentage. And currently he's shooting 56.3% from three as a big man. Like that is insane. And I imagine by the end of the season, he's probably going to stay up unless he goes on a horrible shooting slump up in the high 40s. He's going to be one of the best 3-point shooters in the league this season. And that's been something we've harped on time and time again. And that makes him unguardable. When you have a big out there who can play make, who can draw the other bit, like it does so much for their offense. And you saw it in this game. Like when Anthony Davis has to run and close out to Jokic, it's different when Jokic is shooting 56% from three versus when he's shooting, 31, 32. Like you can provide like a light closeout. You don't have to run up and super close. Like it changes things offensively for them. And another like prop to Jokic, he's second in points per game this season, first in rebounds, and second in assists. Just insane production. And if he keeps this up all season, I don't see a way he doesn't win his 4th MVP. But yeah, just in this game, he did so much damage to Anthony Davis. He's just bigger, and his frame, he's just built a lot bigger than Anthony Davis, and he's able to move him around. You saw that a lot in the post. He's able to seal guys off, get little tip rebounds. Like he had that seal where he had 3 Lakers guards like all around him, and they just threw it up, and he just tipped it in with one hand while he holds the guys off. Like stuff like that's impressive. But it's also due to size and on the Lakers front, the lack thereof. Now moving on to MPJ, because I feel like he was kind of the hero in this game, especially coming out of halftime. It feels like every time he matches up against the Lakers, he kills us. He's just bigger than any defender that we can really put out there on him. Like they have Rui on him. Even Rui is 6'8". Like MPJ is still 6'10". He's taller than him. Like, so he's always able to out-rebound us. He's always able to just shoot over everyone. And the Lakers don't have a defender who's big enough to stay with him and move around with him, like big enough and mobile enough to move around with him while also being able to match him on a lot of those fronts. So it's just a tough matchup. And then I think it just shows like the Lakers just have, the Nuggets just have the Lakers number. Like there's nowhere else to put it. Like it feels like a cycle. But moving on a little bit, I want to talk about Jamal Murray because I think the Nuggets have been winning despite his play and in spite of him. Like, he's really struggled this season by his standards. And honestly, since the second half of last season, like into the playoffs and the Olympics, he's been pretty bad for his standards. This season, he's shooting the lowest field goal percentage of his career at 39.8. And all I'm going to say is I think the Nuggets, he has to play better if the Nuggets want to reach that championship ceiling and be right back there in top tier contention. But Jokic is holding up his end of the bargain. MPJ is doing his thing. Christian Brown, everyone had doubts about him moving into that shooting guard spot. He's been doing his thing. Russ has been playing solid off the bench. Like, Jamal Murray just has to get it together. And the Nuggets are a scary, scary, scary team, especially in the West. On to the Lakers and kind of my takeaways from their side. Like I said before, I'm not going to talk too much about them. I feel like I talk about them every single video. But it's just the same story. They've lost 13 of their last 14 games against the Nuggets. So clearly the Nuggets have a mental advantage, and it's just a bad matchup for them. Like, in this game, AD and Bron didn't play well at all. And I think if they play better and they play, like, if they have a normal game, the game looks a lot different. I can't confidently say they would have won this game if AD and Bron play better, because the Nuggets always find a way to get it close and then game us or go on a run. Like, it just always happens like that. But Bron had 6 turnovers in the first 3 quarters. And I thought in the first half he played great defense. Like, normally he's a little more lackadaisical and kind of nonchalant to an extent with how he like moves around and his rotations. Like, he won't, if his rotation is to like move over to the rim and a guy's rolling, like he'll like fake help or fake like he's gonna jump and block it. Like, no, he was actually affecting shots, like moving around, rebounding, forced a couple steals on Jokic, like coming over from the weak side when Jokic wasn't looking, or like blowing up passing lanes. So I do want to cut him some slack on that front, but he's got to be better with his decision making, especially against the Nuggets, which the Lakers are horrible in transition defense. And when you're turning the ball over, especially back to back to back, it's kind of deflating. And it also allows the Nuggets to go out and run in transition. AD also did not play very well in this game. He missed a lot of his normal like face up jab jumpers. Like, he'll do that a lot from like the left wing area. Missed a lot of those. He missed a lot of his floaters. Missed a lot of his close shots. And he kind of was like, he'd be down arguing with the refs if he didn't get a call. He kind of let the game get in his head, I would say. And like, he's going to be better. He's been amazing this season. I'm not worried about either of them in the long run, but it's just so unfortunate to watch. And I think it shows that the Lakers need to make a move. And everyone's been saying this for the past couple of years. And every single deadline, it's the same story. They'll hold on. D'Lo will start playing well. They'll hold on to him. They won't make a move. And you keep running back the same variation of this team. And when you run into the Nuggets, you get your ass kicked every single time. And I don't know what it's going to take for management to understand or figure out that they need to make a move. You need emphasis on that. You need to bring in a perimeter defender who can also shoot to play alongside Austin Reeves. You have to get D'Lo out of there. He's too inconsistent. And especially against the Nuggets, he always plays horrible. And if he's not playing well offensively, you can't have them out there defensively because he is so much of a negative. And I saw a report that the Timberwolves were talking about putting DiVincenzo like up for trade, and I don't think it's going to happen that he ends up with the Lakers, but I think he'd be a great fit next to Austin Reeves at the 2. And when Vando, who's a hypothetical at the moment because like Ant said, he hasn't been healthy in 2 years, but imagine that lineup where you can have Austin, Dante, Vando, and then Brian and AD. Like, it's just a more cohesive unit. But I also think they need to bring in a backup center who you can trust to not be 50-50, because like Jackson Hayes on any given night, he can be horrible or he can be amazing. Christian Koloko has been solid. Just as a defensive big, like, he's been able to block a couple shots and rebound, but you need better. And they got one guy like Christian Wood potentially coming back eventually, but I don't think he solves that problem either. So I think you gotta, most importantly, I think you need to bring in a perimeter defender because at the end of the day, when it comes to playoff time, AD is going to be playing the majority of your minutes at the 5. So that's not really what you should be worried about. And if he gets hurt, like, you have no shot anyway. So I think it's more so bringing in a perimeter defender. And I'm going to go on a quick rant real quick. I just don't want to see the Lakers waste any more of LeBron's last few years. Like, they've been so close. And anytime you have LeBron and AD on your team, 2 top 10 players, you have a shot at the title. And they've been trying to play this window where they sit on their assets and try and wait for when LeBron retires. Oh, we'll have guys like Austin Reeves. Oh, we'll have guys like Rui. We'll have guys to move on with. But I'm of the mindset that when you have a team like this and when you have a shot, you have to go all in because you don't always have LeBron James on your team. You don't always have Anthony Davis on your team, and you damn sure don't always have them together at the same time, especially Anthony Davis in the height of his career and LeBron still playing as a top 10 player. And for them to keep running this team back and for like reports to come out that they're content with running this team back, it frustrates me so much because you are right there. And LeBron is on his last couple of legs, like his last leg. He got a year, 2, maybe 3 left, depending. No one knows. But I just think you have to make the moves now and you live with the results later. Because if you mess up a situation, you can always bounce back. But if you do nothing and you lose the same way, it's like, what are we doing? And that's all I'm going to say about that today. You can see the frustration, but I just want them to be better. And I hope this deadline they actually make a move to make the team better because you finally have a competent coach. Like I said, AD is looking amazing, the best he's played in his career. LeBron and AD have been amazing as jump shooters, which last season they were solid, but they weren't even on this level. Austin Reeves has looked great. Dalton Connect is like you have a squad and you have to capitalize. That's my 2 cents on that. And that's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Peer Review Podcast. Please share the podcast with your friends and family, as well as follow us on X at peerreview_pod and on TikTok at Peer Review Podcast to stay up to date with our latest episodes and releases. This is the Peer Review Podcast, signing off.